Tristan's faint footprints up over the rise in the land. Iseult followed. The queen, she got down from her horse and she followed her daughter up over the rise in the land until they looked down into a valley with a stream flowing, and there on the banks, face down, Tantris! And they went running down the slope. There lay Tristan unconscious on the banks of the stream. They rolled him over. He seemed to have difficulty breathing. They began to unbutton his jacket. The foul black tongue flopped out, and there was such a stench that both women nearly fainted. The queen had presence of mind to take her cloak and cast it over the tongue, and as the air cleared, Tristan choked, spluttered, and he opened his eyes to find Iseult's sweet face leaning over him anxiously, her red gold hair tumbling over his shoulders, and he smiled up at her. And then he was suddenly aware that they were not alone. There was her mother, and she looked furious. Tantris, she said, what are you doing? Running about the countryside, slaying monsters. I thought you had no weapon. And Tristan's eyes slid guiltily to the sword at his side. And the queen, she looked. And suddenly something came into focus for her. There on the blade, a single little chip. And she could see, she knew for sure that it matched exactly the one that she wore at her heart. She said, I have been so stupid. Not Tantris, but Tristan, my brother's murderer. And she seized Tristan's sword and she held it high above his heart. And wait, Tristan, wait, that's not unfair. I killed your brother, yes, I admit it, but I did not murder him. He brought the fight to Cornwall. I killed him in fair combat. And the queen hesitated, weighing the justice of this argument. Yes, mother, if you kill him, I'm going to have to marry that pudding of a man. Yes, said the queen, suddenly resolved once again. And better you should marry him than the man who killed your uncle. And she was about to plunge in the blade when, wait, said Tristan, wait. I killed the monster to win a sword, not for myself, but for my uncle, King Mark of Cornwall. And now both women were looking at him as if to say, what did you just say? Tristan, he began to gabble out the whole story about the swallow and the hare and the promise that he'd made, and how Mark was a good, kind man, and how wouldn't it be a good thing for their kingdoms to be united in this way. And the queen, slowly she lowered the sword and she nodded. Tristan, she said, I do not like your methods, but I approve of your conclusion. It would indeed be a good thing for our countries to be at peace. And she offered him her hand, helped him to his feet. And Tristan, so relieved, he turned to smile at Iseult, but she turned away. She would not speak to him, not then, and not the whole awkward way back to the castle.